The Bucks could have had one of the best teams of all time. And to start this process, we have to go back to 1998.
With the ninth pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
And in real life, they would trade him, but let's just say they didn't, and they ended up keeping him. Their roster would be insane, with Ray Allen at point guard, Sam Cassell at shooting guard, Glenn Robinson at small forward, Dirk at power forward, and their center, Irvin Johnson. You'd think this team would make a dent in the season or the playoffs, but they ended up only getting the 7th seed, and they get swept in 4 games. The roster would be pretty much the same in 2000. Yet they were an 8th seed. Well, the Bucks lost the first 2 games. They won the next 2. And aside from Dirk's 32-point triple-double, they won Game 5. Pacers weren't going down like this and unfortunately won in 7. In 2001, they had the same roster except new addition Michael Redd. Ray Allen, Dirk, and Michael Redd ended up carrying that team to the 2 seed. Bucks beat Magic in 5 to make it to the second round. The Bucks would start off good, winning the first game, but ended up losing 3 games in a row. Not the Bucks in 7, though. We ended up losing in 7 in the conference finals, though. Ray Allen then had a down year, but Dirk ended up absolutely carrying them to the 6th seed. They ended up upsetting Boston in 4 games, but lost to Detroit in 5. Now, they kind of had a down year, with their lineup being a bit worse, with Desmond Mason at small forward, and then with Dan at center. I don't know what his last name is. They also had Sam Cassell and the superstar pair of Ray Allen and Dirk. Dirk would lead this team to a nice 4 seed. In the first round, they would beat the Nets in 7, and end up beating Boston in 4. But they ended up losing to Detroit in 6 games. The Bucks had a big decision to make. They could either keep Dirk or Ray Allen. They took the risk and chose Dirk. This awful Bucks team was lucky Dirk was super good and led them to the 7th seed. The Bucks ended up sweeping the Wizards, and then beat the Pistons in 7, and then beat the Heat in 6 to be only 4 wins away from champions. They would be unfortunate and lose the first 2 games. They then would win one, but lose one. Then win one again, but lose one again. They actually made the 7th seed, which is a miracle to have Dirk, because they would honestly probably go 0-82 if they didn't. They unfortunately lost in 6 games, though. Ended up winning his first MVP. In the next year, they just missed the playoffs as the 9th seed. They were really upset after just missing the playoffs as the 9th seed. But 2010 was their comeback year as they ended up making the 4 seed. They won round 1 in 7, but lost round 2 in 4 games. They were ready for the playoffs as a 6 seed. They won round 1 in 6. Now there was a big problem in the second round. But Dirk averaged 35 in the series and they swept them in 4 only. They beat the Bulls in 5 to secure a conference championship, then easily beat Kevin Durant's Thunder in just 4 games. After the second chip, they were ready to face the Heat in 2012, or so they thought. They unfortunately were the 8th seed, though. And Miami got their revenge by sweeping Dallas in 4 games.
Giannis Antetokounmpo
Was the Bucks' new starting small forward, but was still the 11th seed. The NBA draft lottery gives them the 2nd pick. It was close to the frozen ladder. But here's the crazy thing. Instead of picking Embiid, in real life, they picked a nobody. So let's say they picked Joel Embiid. They also had the 36th overall pick, where, let's just say they took Nikola Jokic. The Warriors offered Steph Curry for Andrew Bogut, and in real life, the Bucks declined it. But let's say they accept it. Their lineup would be stacked with Nikola Jokic at point guard. You know he's a center by me. Come on, he plays like a point guard. At shooting guard, they'd have Steph, which is amazing. They got rookie Giannis at small forward. The MVP/champion Dirk Nowitzki. And of course, Joel Embiid. Their NBA champion, Dirk Nowitzki, ended up leading them to the 5th seed. And Stephen Curry ended up carrying to make them win in 6 games. They won the first game but lost momentum and lost to the next 4. Not only did they finish the season with just 11 losses, but they were ready for the playoffs as Steph Curry won his first MVP. They ended up beating Brooklyn in 4. They would end up beating Washington in 6. They ended up beating LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers in 7 games, which it was a close series. They won the first, they lost the second, they won the next one, they won the next one, they won the next one. Steph Curry, Finals MVP. Steph Curry wins his second MVP, and they finish with only 10 losses, which is insane. Ended up sweeping the Indiana Pacers. They swept Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. And the Bucks ended up beating the Cavs in 7 games with a last-second layup from Dirk Nowitzki. Steph got Finals MVP, though, and they won in 6 games. This young team would end up making the 3 seed, though, but lost to Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors. And Curry won Finals MVP again the next year, though. Then Giannis would win back-to-back MVPs and back-to-back Finals MVPs. Joker ended up winning MVP and Finals MVP in 2021. Joker would win another MVP, but Curry would end up winning Finals MVP. Embiid would win the MVP and then the next Finals MVP when they win the chip again. Because let's be honest, ain't nobody beating this point guard Joker, shooting guard Steph, small forward Chris Middleton, power forward Giannis, and center Embiid.